As we've been reporting, the recovery from Hurricane Ian will take at least months, if not years.
President Biden will travel to Florida this week to survey the damage. More than 500,000 Floridians remain without power. The death toll continues to rise. But complicating the recovery is the fact that the majority of people impacted by severe flooding do not have flood insurance, especially in non-coastal areas. Mark Friedlander is with us now. He's the Director of Corporate Communications at the Insurance Information Institute. Mark, welcome. Can you first please describe to us just the different processes that Floridians without and with flood insurance must go through at this moment?
Sure. So in general, about 18% of Floridians have flood coverage, either through the National Flood Insurance Program or private insurers. If you do have flood coverage, you file a claim just like you would file a claim for property windstorm damage. If you don't have flood insurance, then your only option most likely will be applying for an individual grant from FEMA. It's a bit of a complex process, but it will help you at least in the first stage of recovery. Unfortunately, FEMA grants do not replace flood coverage. You will only get a small portion of your loss. Typically, these average about $10,000 based on the payouts we saw from grants after Hurricane Ida along the East Coast last year. So once again, we always tell people, have flood insurance as part of your financial protection package, especially in a state like Florida that is so vulnerable to flooding.
But Mark, I mean, it's a tricky question for people. It's very expensive, flood insurance. You tell them to have flood insurance. You represent insurance companies, though, so you guys want it for your own reasons as well. For people who are looking at their budget and thinking, I don't have the extra couple $1,000s a month to spend on this, why is it better to go the insurance route rather than either go with pure lady luck or FEMA?
Well, here's the thing. A FEMA National Flood Insurance policy averages about $985 a year. That's not even $100 a month for most Americans. Would you rather invest in $100 a month for financial protection or take the chance and lose your home? Say your home was valued at $200,000. A FEMA grant is not going to help you. In fact, without flood insurance, your family could be financially devastated. We understand budgets. That is a concern, no doubt about it, but you have to look at the big picture, just like you have insurance for your auto and property insurance for your home when it comes to windstorm damage. Flood insurance is so essential. We've seen catastrophic flooding events, not only in Florida now, but across the country this year. And only 4% of Americans have flood coverage. It is the largest insurance gap in the country. As I said, the average is $985 a year. I live in Florida, 20 miles from the coast. I pay $500 a year.
Yeah. I used
$40 a month.
So only 4% of people have flood insurance. The thing with auto and home insurance is it often it's required by your bank if you have a mortgage or required by law in the state for you to have auto insurance. With flood insurance, people have some discretion. Is it still true, looking at the tables, that for most people, they're never going to need it, right?
We cannot say that. 90% of U.S. natural disasters involve flooding. We've seen catastrophic level flooding this year in Kentucky, Missouri, even the California desert. Historic levels of flooding because of monsoons out west. You can't predict when you're going to be facing a natural catastrophe. Every area of the country has natural catastrophe risk, and flooding is a risk in all 50 states. If you want to take the chance, you're taking a really significant financial risk.
I mean,
you guys do run the tables. I mean, taking the risk is what you do on every single customer, right? You're betting that they're going to pay a monthly premium and that it's not going to happen to them, and therefore you pocket a premium without ever having to pay out for damages. So you're taking that bet, but you're saying other people should not.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, flood insurance is different from property insurance. Completely separate policy. There are more than 40 companies that exclusively write flood insurance in Florida, in addition to FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program. They assess the risk of individual properties across the country, and they price that risk appropriately. As I said, the experts tell us that everybody should have flood insurance based on those actuarial analysis of homes across the country. There's no area that is safe from flooding. So once again, it's an extreme risk for any family in any part of the country to take.
Well, definitely higher risk and more expensive, I assume, in Florida, which is so flat.
It all comes back to people's personal comfort with the risk. As Mark lays out there, it is catastrophic if it happens. Doesn't mean it's going to, though, and you got to look at your own budget. Mark Friedlander, thank you very much.